CEO, co-founder of Ferris AI, and I was previously the head of many of the AI and agentic product efforts at Qualtrics after they acquired my previous startup. Everything that I heard from Silicon Valley, from the market while I was there, was that services were dead, that systems integrators, MSPs, professional services, the work that they do was becoming or going to become automated through AI. But my experience, the experience of my co-founder, and certainly everything we've learned since talking with hundreds of leaders in the space across many of these firms really points in the opposite direction. And so I wanted to make this video to share some of what we've learned and our thinking at Ferris based on those conversations. The first thing to understand is, I think, this idea of Jevons paradox. So William Jevons was a British economist, and he noticed that as the steam engine became more efficient and coal became cheaper, many people assumed that the consumption of coal would crater. But they actually saw the opposite, that there was explosive demand. And we've seen this in kind of many technologies and many spaces in industry since. And we think that there's actually something similar poised to happen in the kind of professional services space. And really, the opportunity, as we see it, is for those that are responsible for distributing these technologies, for implementing and making them useful to customers, to really benefit the most from AI and build companies that capture that value. And so I just want to walk through why we believe that is true. So there is, as we see it, a general misunderstanding about what services is. And this speaks to kind of our personal experience at Qualtrics, certainly, which was a lot of people think consulting is just hired guns, right? It is labor that can be outsourced. And while that's true in part, we actually think of consulting as being three different things. The first is labor, the time and effort that you can now have someone else spend to accomplish work for you. But it's also two other things. The first is, or rather the second is, the ability to know what good looks like and help a customer understand and learn what good looks like for them. We call this, judgment. Jay Agrawal, one of my mentors and former teachers, has done tremendous work on this, showing that when work becomes cheap, judgment becomes dramatically more valuable. And we think that a part of what good partners, what professional services do, is help customers understand what good looks like and then help make that a reality for them. And then the third thing I think is maybe less intuitive to those that haven't operated in an enterprise space, but it is the political economy of an organization and the role that professional services fulfill in that political economy. Enterprises are complex beasts. Everyone in them has a set of incentives that align with their role, typically. And we think that there's real value in the role that professional services and consultants hold, particularly through something as unbelievably change-inducing as AI, or a new kind of technological paradigm, because they sit outside of the organization. They aren't kind of buried in the morass of incentives and goals that an enterprise has. They're able to kind of look at the organization, help the actual enterprise understand themselves, collect information, get access to information and stakeholders that often, if you were within the organization, you wouldn't be able to do or wouldn't be able to do easily. And so we think that while, if you look at professional services, those three things, right? Labor, judgment, and political economy and the role they fill. While labor becomes much cheaper with AI, you can automate the work, you can do much more work much more quickly. Judgment and that role as a kind of political economy becomes dramatically more valuable. And so we think because of that, we're set to see a Jevons paradox style dynamic in this industry. And Ferris is really excited to be making that more likely for professional service firms, systems integrators, MSPs, etc. And what we're building at Ferris is an agentic system to really equip professional services with the kind of AI tools and capabilities to make this possible, to grow untethered by headcount, by using AI agents that do the work of solutions architects, business analysts, developers, so that their own teams can focus on the work that they're uniquely well placed to do and don't have to focus on the grunt work that today prevents them from really enjoying the work that they do. So that is what we are building at Ferris, and that's part of why we are so bullish on this space. We're learning a lot, and we'll continue to share what we do here as time goes on. Thanks so much. Cheers.